Hi John, hey Jaguars, this is Miss Schooler, and you kindergartners in first grade. All this year we have been reading books that were nominated for the Washington Children's Choice Picture Book Award. Those were the books that were on the poster that was on the wall in the story area of the library. We didn't read them all, but we read quite a few. Some of the ones that we read were Dear Substitute. This one happened to be letters that were written to the substitute in the classroom. This was by Liz Garton Scanlon and Audrey Vernick, illustrated by Chris Rashka. Another one we read was Can I Be Your Dog? This one happened to be also letters. These were the only two that I have actually at home. But we also read, The Wall in the Middle of the Book, Little Brown. There were a whole bunch. Some of you read Rot. We didn't read that one in the library, but some of you already read that. Well, the time has come to vote for your favorite. And so we're not going to be able to vote for it together. So what I'm doing is I'm going to provide a link in our newsletter for this week, and it will give you a picture of the cover of all of them, just to remind you which ones that we've read or which ones you recognize. And then I just need you to have either you or your parents just send me an email, and my email will be in the newsletter telling me which one's your favorite. Now you can only vote for one. And so in the email, I need your name and your teacher, and then which one you're voting for. But today I want to share one that we haven't read, and this one's called Friends and Foes. And this is actually a book of poems. These are poems about us all. And, well, friends, we pretty much know what that word means, but foes, that may not be a word you're familiar with. And that actually means enemies. So sometimes, people who start out to be your friend and then they're not your friend, or they start out as maybe your enemy and then they become your friend. And these are poems that are written by Douglas Florian, and he is also the illustrator. I'm not going to read them all. That would be too long, but I am going to read a few of these poems. You might be missing your friends right now. I know I am. Even though, you might be able to talk to them or see them, on Zoom or things, you just want to go, whoops. You want to just go out and hang out with them. You want to play with them. This thing fell over. I was just blocking the sun, using that to block the sun. Okay, this one's called I Like You. I like you when you listen. I like you when you talk. I like you when you whistle. I like you when you walk. When we walk. I like you when we wrestle. I like you when we race. I like you when you tell a joke or make a silly face. I like you when we play all day or when the play must end. But most of all, I like you because you are my friend. Now you could tell in this poem, the lines did rhyme, but they don't have to. That doesn't make a piece of writing a poem that it rhymes. This one is the one I'm going to read next, and it is called You Lied to Me. You lied to me. I thought you were true. I didn't expect that from someone like you. I thought you were honest, a friend to be trusted. But now that connection is broken and busted. You lied to me. It hurt me to learn it. If you want my friendship, then you will have to earn it. Sometimes you can be friends with things that are not people. I'm friends with trees. I'm friends with trees, with bumblebees, and every creeping creature. I'm friends with stones and dinosaur bones, but mostly Mother Nature. This poem is called Strangers. Once we two were strangers. I found you somewhat strange, but when I learned about you, then things began to change. We come from different cultures. We speak a different tongue. I come from California. You grew up in Hong Kong. The foods we eat are different. Our clothes are different too. We've got different religions. And I look different than you. Once we two were strangers, we seemed so far apart. But now, despite our differences, we're both the same at heart. Oh, sometimes our friend is not maybe a real friend. This one is called Imaginary Friend. I'm thinking thoughts concerning my imaginary friend. He really isn't real at all. He's make-believe, pretend. I talk to him at times when I am lonely and I'm bored, or if I feel neglected, lost, abandoned, or ignored. He listens to my problems, then he offers a solution. He makes my fears all disappear and clears up my confusion. I'm thinking thoughts so thoroughly, but I just had one quite scary. Perhaps my friend is really real, and I'm imaginary. This next poem is called Not Talking. Sally will not speak to Sam. Sam won't talk to Jill. Jill won't say a word to Joe. Joe's ignoring Bill. Bill is not so nice to Pam. Pam is sore at Sue. And I would tell you more, perhaps, but I won't talk to you. Does sound like that's a group of kids with some problems. This next poem is about something I bet you all wish you could do. Sleepover. Amy and Nomi and Dolly and Dottie came to my home for a sleepover party. We gabbed and we blabbed and we laughed and we leaped, had great tons of fun, but not too much sleep. And the last poem I'm going to share with you is called Friendship is a Flower. Friendship is a flower. You have to let it grow. You really cannot rush it. You have to take it slow. Friendship is a flower. You have to give it room so it can grow the deepest roots and marvelously bloom. So maybe you can't have a best friend overnight, but if you give it time, you can develop friends. This is Friends and Foes, Poems About Us All by Douglas Florian. Oh, and the publisher of this book is Beach Lane Books. I want to thank them for allowing us to share this book on YouTube. And then don't forget to vote. You have to do it by May 31st for your vote to count. they've extended the deadline this year because of the virus. So, I'm also including a link for a scavenger hunt for all the books. Each book has something that you could try and find either in your house or outside, something that would have something to do with books, just something fun. You could check off and see how many of those things you could find. Those are the things that I'm including for this week for you kindergartners and first graders. See you next time.